HP Service Anywhere plays an integral role within the closed-loop incident process, or CLIP. Service Anywhere has pre-built integrations to HP's business service management platform and HP's automation tool, operations orchestration. Having the HP tools integrated allows Oscar to minimize the time he spends swivel seating back and forth between tools and allows him to do more effective troubleshooting before escalating to Tier 2. Oscar is a Tier 1 operator. He logs into his BSM dashboard. Working from the event perspective, he can see the events in the operations console. For example, when Oscar sees an event about the WebLogic application, he can bring up the event and review the details. With a simple right-click on the event, Oscar can forward the event to Service Anywhere. Nice and easy, no calling, no copying, pasting, no logging into another tool. He sees the incident ID populated on the forwarding tab of the event. Meanwhile, in Service Anywhere, Tom checks out this new incident and sees that the title and description have been copied over from the event. He also sees on the discussion tab that it's been populated with the updates that were made by BSM. Tom goes ahead and resolves the incident. Oscar verifies that the incident has been resolved, and he can now close the event. HP's integrated solution also allows for incidents to be automatically opened when certain thresholds are met. We've just seen how HP's integrated closed-loop incident process reduced recognition and diagnosis times for incidents. It also reduced the workload on Oscar the operator and reduced the time it took him to repair and recover issues. Service Anywhere ITAM is powered by our big data platform. Searching for an asset is no longer about filtering a long list of assets until you find the right one. The asset manager can now just, in natural language, search for what they're looking for. Here I want to search for my Exchange server, which I know is running on a ProLiant. I want the primary, so I remove the failover from the criteria, and here you go. Immediately I found my asset and can drill down into its detail. I can see a variety of information about asset identification, ownership, and where it is in the life cycle at a glance. I can get further detail on this CI's technical information. And here I can see the power of SACM showing in a single object both the CI and the asset perspectives. This allows me to manage all my service assets very easily. The workflow includes the full cradle-to-grave management of the asset, and the Finance tab is giving us all of the acquisition, cost, and depreciation information. This includes the portfolio depreciation simulation. The CI is an active part of my IT, and its topology is from a discovery tool, in this case from UCMDB Universal Discovery. So just clicking on the Show Impact, I can understand that this server could impact my email service and also 2 SharePoint services that are using it. Lastly, I can very easily, right from Service Anywhere, get more details on the CI from the UCMDB browser. I can see the very detailed information about the CI and also the CI in the context of the full UCMDB topology. HP Service Anywhere includes a valuable and simple to configure integration with HP Operations Orchestration, or OO. The integration enables extending the task plan automation with Service Anywhere to include the execution of on-premise runbook automation flows orchestrated by OO. This is valuable in the automation of request fulfillment, incident remediation, or change deployments. We will start by showing an automated password reset request from the business user perspective. In the service portal, a user forgot their password. He selects the suggested offering for this issue, and then fills in the options and submits the request. At this point, the request that was submitted is resolved automatically. The system reset the password by calling an HP OO flow that runs on-premise and interacts with the company's domain server. The user receives a confirmation email with their new password. Of course, this is a black box to the business user, but we will next see how this executes behind the scenes. We will now drill into the request to see the behind-the-scenes workflow that executed in an automated manner through an HPOO integration. All of this logic was driven off the fulfillment task plan on the request. Looking at the request that was just submitted above, we can look at the Task Plan tab and see the tasks that have executed. Let's look into the task to reset the password. This task represents the integration handoff to OO. The business rule shows the OO flow that was executed to reset the user password. It also shows the parameters passed in. At the bottom of the task, we can also see the details of the actual OO execution. We can see the HPOO task ID for the flow that ran, and we can click on it to invoke a launch level integration that opens the OO console to further examine the execution. Finally, let's look at how the integration was actually configured by looking at the catalog offering defined for password resets. Here we see the support offering definition for the password reset. This definition contains a task plan where the various automation flows are defined. The business rule at the bottom represents the configuration for integrating to OO. When we click the Change button here, we can browse for flows defined in the OO instance installed on-premise. And we can search for flows easily. Here, there are various predefined password-related flows. Looking at the flow parameters dialog, we can configure various input parameters expected by the flow. Some parameters take in hard-coded values, and others are configured to take in values from the request, such as the email to parameter. Service Anywhere also has a well-defined REST API for nearly any web service integration. In addition, HP Connect provides hundreds of predefined integrations to connect virtually any software or data source to HP Service Anywhere. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video on HP Service Anywhere. We hope you've seen that HP Service Anywhere is the best choice for IT service and support management. Service Anywhere enables both IT and business end users to get the most out of their IT services.